There, good evening. So I met you at 12 where we went ahead and talked about loads and loads of grammar based questions when it comes to CMAT. And right now in the evening we plan to continue our work on CMATs together by taking our 100 most expected question series forward. So this is the fifth part, and since we've already had grammar in the morning, I am not going to talk about grammar. You can revisit the session that I took at 12 for that. So I welcome you to BYJU'S Exam Prep channel dedicated to your success as an MBA aspirant. My name is Vikrant and I am your personal coach for all things related to English and communication. So if you have any questions, any concerns, any ambiguity, worry, anything that has been bothering you with respect to CMAT, please make sure that you mention that in the chat box and I will do my best to address it during the course of this session. So, quick reminder, we'd have 180 minutes for 100 questions, and these 100 questions are going to be divided over 5 sections, +4 for every right, -1 for every wrong. One of those sections is going to be this section called language comprehension, which is another name for English. And you'd have 20 questions. Those 20 questions can be based on vocabulary, grammar, reading comprehension, and parajumbles, at times even sentence jumbles. So in this series, I have ensured that we worked on each one of these areas. And since we have worked on grammar earlier in the day, let us focus on vocabulary. In my previous couple of sessions, we have talked about reading comprehensions and parajumbles as well. So what kind of vocabulary based questions do we get in the exams? Synonyms and antonyms, idioms and phrasal verbs, spelling based questions, confusables, fill in the blanks, so verbal analogies. Right, so these are the kind of questions that we expect to meet in the exam, and in this session I will introduce you to each one of those question types. We'll practice a few of those together, and hopefully that will ensure that the real CMAT will have no surprises for you when it comes your way. Ready? Shall we start? So here you go. Question number 1 on your screen. The word is avid. You're supposed to give me the antonym and your time starts now. Shivam, I'll just address it once we are done with this question. Okay, so I have seen the first answers. Mayank thinks it should be A. Parth. What about you? Okay, so what is the meaning of the word avid? What is avid? Avid is somebody who has a keen interest in something, somebody who has a lot of enthusiasm towards something. So it's an adjective, right? So if you're an avid reader, you take a lot of interest in reading. So let's look at the words. Apathetic. Apathetic is when you have no interest or enthusiasm or concern, no emotions towards something, right? For example, we say young people today can be so apathetic about politics, right? Then desirous, so desirous is related to desire. Then you have devoted. If somebody is devoted, then he is very loyal or very loving, a devoted husband. And then you have fanatical. Somebody who's fanatical is filled with this excessive, single-minded zeal. So it's an extreme form of fandom. Remember, fanatical as a fan? When you're an extreme fan of something, you become fanatical. Because we were looking for an antonym, you're absolutely right. The correct answer should be A, apathetic. And now to address Shivam's question. Shivam's question was one-shot preparation. Dude, it's actually very easy. All of it boils down to learning new words. So if you are consistent, if you are regular about learning vocabulary every day, you should not have any worries. But if you are talking about a strategy for acquiring those words right now for the CMAT, I think that will be a bit sketchy. Then Rutuj says last minute strategy to ace VARC. Why not? So VARC is 20 questions. Usually, now it is actually varied. So there are times when we have half of the section as reading comprehension. Then there are times when half of it becomes vocabulary. So my suggestion is start with vocabulary, then head over to grammar, and thereafter it is entirely your call. You can either get into reading comprehension or get into parajumbles if they are there. Okay, so this will ensure that you're moving from the least time consuming questions to the most time consuming questions. So A it is for question number 1. Question number 2 on your screen, synonym of masticate, and your time starts now. Parth, definitely learning root words enhances your retention of the words, and therefore it is definitely one of those methods that one can experiment with. One should. So personally, I've definitely found it very useful. Okay, so basically masticate means to chew or crush something with your teeth. To chew or crush, and because we are looking for a synonym, I think our answer is right there. Chew. What is choke? Choke is to block someone's throat so that the person is not able to breathe. Bite is to use your teeth to cut into something. Bite is cut. Mastication is chewing. Biting is cutting. Then you have swallow. Swallow is to move food or drink from your mouth to your stomach using the muscles of your throat. You already know that, hopefully. So A is our answer, and here is question number 3 on your screen, and the clock is ticking. Five seconds to go. Okay, so the word given to us is revile. It is a verb. It basically means to criticize someone strongly, or it can even mean to say unpleasant things about others. So out of the 4, I think it is pretty obvious that there is only one word that focuses on that, and that is abuse. Revive is to bring something back to life. Review, we know. Reveal is to make something visible. That's something that was hidden. Right? So our answer here should be option C, as I think almost everybody has managed to identify. Question number 4. Again, keep paying attention to the directions. You are supposed to look for the antonym, and the clock is ticking right there. Come on. Let's see. Okay, so the word that has been given to us is avow, and avow basically means to declare something openly. So for example, if somebody avows that he has voted for a particular political party, then he is declaring it openly. Now profess also means to declare, so this cannot be the answer. Renounce is to give up. And then you have bear. Bear is to carry something, to support something, to sustain something. Declare is something that we all know. So, profess and declare are definitely synonyms. So, let's rule these out. Bear, to support, sustain has got nothing to do with declaring. But when you renounce, you in a way give up something. In avow, you declare in favor of something. In renounce, you essentially give up something. So, kind of, if I have to pick up one word of the four that can act as an antonym, I'd go with option B, right? So that's at least in that ballpark. So the options can at times be really close. That is where using the process of elimination can be very, very, very helpful. And with that, let's get into the fifth and the last question based on synonyms and antonyms. So here it is, and your time starts now. Ten seconds to go. Okay, so the word that has been given to us is piquant. Piquant basically means something that has a pleasantly sharp taste, or piquant can mean something that is interesting and exciting to a person's mind. So, for example, you know, these celebrities have these photographers that keep following them, paparazzi as we call them. So, more piquant details of their private lives were revealed by the paparazzi. Then, distressing is something that causes you anxiety or sorrow. Gabble. Gabble is to talk rapidly and unintelligibly. So I did theatre for a while. I was part of Asmita theatre group, where during the rehearsals there were times when we were running short on time, and thus we gabbled. We just go through this entire script rather quickly, even if you're not very clearly audible, it's still okay. It's just that you end up talking very rapidly. So that's gabble. Appealing. Appealing is something that is attractive or interesting. So appears to be a synonym. And what is pliable? Pliable is somebody who is willing to do what others tell him. He complies. Okay. So therefore pliable. And that is why I think, considering that we're looking for a synonym, the best answer should be option C. Right. Distressing is going to be opposite. Gabble and pliable are not even linked with this particular word. So synonyms and antonyms done, and now let's dive into the domain of idioms and phrases. So what is the meaning of this particular idiom? Close but no cigar. Okay, so I see D, B, lots of answers. Okay, so you've seen some of these Hollywood movies where when the hero achieves victory, then he lights up a cigar. So when you say close but no cigar, actually comes from there, that you were so close to victory, but then you could not really cross the finish line. And that is why the correct answer here is option B. This is what this idiom means. And here comes the next one on your screen, and the time starts now. Ten seconds. Yeah, I think this should be easy. So the correct answer here is D. When somebody says, I'm all ears, it means that he's paying attention and he is ready to listen. So he's not trying to listen, it's ready to listen. Okay, here is the next one. To the nines. What's your take for this? Okay, let me go ahead and also give you a hint. When I attend any of these weddings, I see that a lot of women are dressed to the nines. Dressed to the nines. And in that context, it basically means that they are dressed to perfection. That they have left no stone unturned. They've taken care of everything. Okay, so that's about to the nines. And here comes your next idiom on the screen. Move the needle, and the clock is ticking. And see, even if you get the meaning of a particular idiom wrong, it's okay. Right? Idioms are not logic driven. They are just like words, so you are learning something new about them. And try to incorporate them, include them in your daily speech. That can add a bit more of color, flavor, pop to your communication. Okay, so move the needle basically means to make a significant difference, or to change a situation to a very noticeable degree. So, for example, we are all hoping that the new product line will move the needle on sales. Revenues have been rather flat lately. So, move the needle on sales is will make a noticeable, significant difference to our sales, right? So here comes the next question where I've tried to make it easy by giving you a context as well. So let's see how you deal with it. Hmm. Okay, so when you keep up appearances, it means that in reality things are not all that great, but you do not show it. In public, you send the kind of message that everything is fine, all is well. And that is why in question number 10, our answer should be option D. So there you go. They're very unhappily married, but they kept up appearances for the sake of their children. Imagine. So when you pretend to be happier, richer than you really are, you keep up the appearances. So that's about idioms. And now let's get into some more question varieties. So here is one. You've been given 4 words. One of these is incorrectly spelled. Could you identify that word? Oh, yes, a lot of you have managed to spot it. Occasionally has been spelt incorrectly. Huh. Right? Okay, here is the next question then. Question number 12 on your screen. This time around, I am asking you to choose the correctly spelt word. Okay, in the previous one, we were looking for incorrect spelling. Now we are looking for the correct spelling. Let's see. Okay, let's see. There are a lot of answers. I love to see these answers coming in rather rapidly. So you're absolutely right, guys. The correct answer here is indeed B. The spelling given in B is right. Commemorate basically means to recall and show your respect for someone or something. So martyrs are often commemorated on important days, on at least some special days. So commemorate, B is the right spelling. Here is the next one. Which one of these is once again correctly spelled? Okay, so the word here is souvenir. Souvenir means a thing that you keep with yourself as a reminder of something or someone. So as a reminder of a person, a place, an event, and the correct spelling of souvenir is given in option D. Right, so D it is. Hitesh, unfortunately, you'll not be getting a PDF of this session, man. But you can watch it again at 1.5x, 2x if you want to. And here comes the next question. So this time around in this question, I have given you a verbal analogy. There is a pair given to you here. These two words share some relationship. You are supposed to look for another pair that has similar relationship. Okay, and your time starts now. Sakshi, you are just a few seconds behind. If you can catch up, you can start giving me the answers live. Come on. Wow. Absolutely spot on, guys. B it is. Amiable and amicable are both synonyms. And mind you, synonyms have words with similar meaning, so there is a difference. The central idea in amiable is love or liking. Okay, he's an amiable person. The central idea in amicable is more of peace. They've arrived at an amicable solution. But then both of them have the same root and the meanings are in that same ballpark. So therefore synonyms. Now somebody who's affable is somebody who is likable, and somebody who's mean is not somebody that you like. These two words are antonyms. So let's rule them out. Generous, miserly, again antonyms. Plethora, scarce, again antonyms. So we can rule these out. B, inimical and hostile are the only two words where we are dealing with synonyms. Okay. So that's 14. Here is the next one. Another verbal analogy, and your time starts now. So those of you who are new to verbal analogies, we look at the two words that are given here and establish a relationship between them. We try to capture that relationship in a simple sentence. So what is the relationship between reflection is to light? When light hits a surface, it may get reflected. It's like reflection is what happens to a light when it hits a surface. Emotion and sensation, sound and reverberate. Yup. What happens to a sound when it hits a surface? It comes back, and that is called an echo or a reverberation. So just the way light is reflected, sound is reverberated, right? Although reverberate is a little different from an echo. Reverberate means to repeat several times. Has to be multiple echoes. Movie act, no. Microphone hearing, no. So therefore, the best answer for us is indeed option B, and all of you have actually managed to get this right. The next one, fill in the blanks, and your time starts now. Answers, guys, answers. Okay, so I'm getting C, I'm getting D. Okay, so inflation is high. Inflation is the rate at which prices increase. So if the inflation is high, it is a bit like saying that the amount of money, the amount of things that money buys, now that amount has shrunk. So your money basically does not run why am I gabbling? We remember we looked at this word. So inflation basically means that your money is not worth as much. So what do? You need to manage it by what? Building bridges. You build bridges when you are when you want to connect with someone. Learning the ropes. Learning the ropes is when you are a beginner, when you are a novice in an area and you are learning to perform that task. Won't make any sense. Cutting corners. Some of us have chosen this. Cutting corners basically means that, now first up, cutting corners is a negative expression. When you cut corners, it basically means that you reduce the quality in order to either do the job for cheap or in order to save on some time, but it is a negative thing. On the other hand, tightening our belts basically means reducing the expenditure, kharcha kam karna. So if I compare C with D, realize it, when it comes to inflation, you'd like to tighten your belt. You'd like to reduce your expenses and not compromise on the quality of the task that you are supposed to perform. Won't make much sense here, right? So that is why C can be ruled out and D should have been chosen as our answer. So question number 17 on your screen, and the clock is ticking. Okay, so let's look at it blank by blank. He said he had acted out of something for the suffering of his fellow citizens. Can we put pity here? Yes. Anger? No. Compassion? Yes. Ignorance? No. So B and D are ruled out at this juncture itself. So let's move on. So pity or compassion in the first blank, but in reality his actions only. So but basically means contrast. So he acted out of this concern for that suffering, but in reality he made it worse. So between lessened and exacerbated, which one says the situation became worse? Exacerbated. And that is why our answer here should be option C. In B, anger doesn't make sense. He acted out of anger for the suffering. And then even if you put it in, the part after but will not make much sense here. So the best option, C. The next question on your screen, and your time starts now. This is a question that tests you on something that we know as confusables. Have been asked occasionally in the exam. It's an easy question, I think, for most of us. Let's see. Okay, exacerbated. Kaustubh, exacerbate means to make a bad thing worse, to make the situation even worse. Okay, and here the answer is of course B. We all know the meaning of A, the root in A. What is the rote mentioned in C? What does that mean? Remember rote learning, the process of learning something by repetition rather than really understanding it. Using your memory to cram things but without applying your brains. So learning by rote not is something that is usually looked down upon. And riots are, of course, riots where a lot of people take law and order in their own hands and they start vandalizing the public property and at times beating up and bashing people. We all know that the Hindi word for a riot is a danga. Okay, then let's move over to the next one. Another fill in the blank, and your time starts now. So one more, confusable. Okay, so when I look at this sentence, let's just talk about grammar briefly. I know that whatever goes here has to be an adjective. How does it help me? It helps me because, a single word can have multiple meanings. Now, at least I need to just check whether this word acts as an adjective or not. And if it does, what does it mean in that context? Right? So let's start. Considering can be used as a conjunction or an adverb. Considerable, Considerable can be used as an adjective, but considerable means large or noticeable. So it is my considerable opinion, large or noticeable opinion. Doesn't make any sense. So A is ruled out. Considering, in this context, it cannot even be used as an adjective. So we can definitely rule this out. Considered is an adjective. We do use it with opinions, views, or decisions that a person believes are well thought out. So if you have some well thought out opinion, you can call it a considered opinion. And then you have considerate. Considerate is also an adjective. But it means kind and helpful. He's a very considerate person. Now, considerate opinion. An opinion cannot be kind or helpful the way a person is, and therefore even D is eliminated. So the only option that stands here is option C. So another instance where we were tested on confusables. Yes, if you are enjoying this session, if you find this useful, hey, don't forget to like it. That's means a lot to me. Okay, and then question number 20 on your screen, and the time starts now. Let's see if you get this right. Okay, so the time is up. What do we do? Do we pay compliments? Do we give compliments? Do we accept? Accept won't make any sense here. Sharing won't make any sense here. So A or B, you give compliments or you pay compliments? Okay, the phrase is pay compliments. To pay compliment means to say something nice about someone. So happiness can be spread by being grateful or paying compliments to, or by paying compliments to someone. So it should be A. You pay compliments, you do not give compliments. And that is why A. This is a question which has tripped a lot of people. So that's interesting. So 20 questions in the CMAT Language Comprehension section, 20 questions in this session. So let's stop here. This basically equals practicing the entire section, and that's what I had planned for you. And in case vocabulary bothers you, don't say you can't until you prove you can't. Okay, I am absolutely confident that you can solve vocabulary based questions through elimination, and I loads and loads of wishes for you as well. And here is a special announcement. We are bringing in an 8-hour non-stop marathon for CMAT to you on our channel on 3rd of May. So don't forget to join us at 11 and work with us throughout the day. Additionally, on 4th of May, we'll of course have our analysis. So the moment you're done with the exam, you know where to come. For more practice, you can attend this series that we run, or you can head over to our app where you get to practice section quizzes, section-wise quizzes every day. Okay, so that's it from me. There are these people who have achieved great success by working with us, and I hope that you also go ahead and achieve that same amount of success. In case you know somebody who's preparing for CAT 23, do recommend BYJU'S wholeheartedly. Absolutely amazing program with tons and tons of features. And I don't know why a lot of people are confused, but we do coach you for jury interview as well. Yeah, it's a very comprehensive program, right? So this test, scholarship test on 14th of May, is going to make it easy for people to join us. And in case you need inputs on strategy, 6th of May it is. So that's it from me today. I look forward to meeting you guys once again. And in case you and I do not meet before the exam, all the very best. The least that I can do for you is pray for your success. And I'll do it with all my heart, all my soul. Go ahead and do extremely, extremely well. Okay. Until I see you next, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch, and come back on 4th of May for the analysis. Right? Take care. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.